Hi, well, welcome back to the A&S Way, our newly named channel now.
Newly rebranded, which now includes me.
Yeah, because he's realised that he should be a part of this journey with me.
Yeah. I was a part of it, I just wasn't the on-screen part of it.
Exactly.
But you'll see now from the videos, I'm in them a lot. I did one 90% by myself the other day.
Did?
It's just gone up yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
So definitely go and check that out. And we want to ask people to keep subscribing nice and early.
He's got in there before me. He purposely did that. He's like, do it slowly enough. Is she going to catch it?
Hopefully it's not too windy. I think we've mentioned before, Vegas can get very windy, and it's one of those days, and we forgot or misplaced the wind sock. So hopefully you can hear us. So yeah, that's me.
When I was organising all the equipment, it was very well organised, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I knew where everything was.
And today, but we've done 3 videos today, and we thought we'd give you 3 different views on our lives. So we did one by the pool.
Yeah, one by our new gym, which we're very happy about.
Selena still hasn't used it yet, by the way.
Yeah.
I've used it
That's
once.
because she's working me too hard so I can't get to enjoy life as much. But we're carrying on with the theme. We thought the weekly updates, everyone seems to enjoy them, so we want to make sure we continue to do at least the weekly update every week, in addition to the other stuff that we're sharing. So this will be week 6, I think. Weekly update 6.
Yes, it's definitely week 6. So it's 2 days past our week 6, which was the same as last time.
Yeah, and 17th of April, and it's crazy. I think for me, it's that we're now getting to the point where we realise we actually live here, and moving into the place was a huge part of me coming to that realisation.
Yeah, me too. And because it's quite a big culture shock difference. It hasn't. I thought I'd settled in and it's fine. I find everything normal. So when I'm in a hotel or an apartment, actually settling into suburban life where your neighbours come and say hello and they chat to you for a while.
Oh, he's made friends already.
Loads
of
friends.
To all the neighbours.
Yeah.
Knows all what's going on.
I got the gossip on everyone. It's quite fun actually. Each neighbour's telling me their little bit about the other neighbours, and I'm just an outsider. And I think they quite like that I'm not part of the clique yet, so they can all just offload.
They've been quite forthcoming, haven't they?
Oh, they've been very forthcoming. It's fun though.
But this week's is last week we updated you on kind of the whole thing about getting the house and the rental, and this week we have finally moved in, which is great. And although we got the keys last week, we didn't actually move in until yesterday, and that was mainly because of me. You could have probably moved in.
Oh yeah, I definitely would have. Yeah. In fact, you'll see the video that is of just me is me moving most of our stuff by myself.
And that was on Monday. So Monday you went in.
And it's Saturday today, isn't it?
Saturday is Saturday.
Because I don't know.
No. So on Monday Ant went in. You almost tried to kill yourself on the ladder.
I think it was scarier in my mind than it really was. It's really high. I think there's 16 foot to the window and then further to the ceiling, and we had to open up the blinds.
And he's Snapchatting me what he's doing, and bearing in mind I'm in the middle of meetings and calls, and I'm saying just don't hurt yourself because no one's coming to rescue you.
I had my phone where I thought I would land if I fell off, so even if I broke my legs or my neck, I should have been able to contact someone.
Well, no, if you break your neck, you're out. I don't think you contacted
I'm here
anyone.
Anyway.
He's here. So that was Monday. Monday we also had the pest control, which I think you'll see in that video anyway. That was a huge thing for us. Not making sure we get no scorpions or spiders in the house. And then the other thing that we had to wait for, and really it could have been any day from that day, was our rental furniture. Our shipment, our house belongings that has been in storage since May of last
2020
year.
And it is now April 2021.
Yeah, that had only left the UK on April the 12th.
5 days ago.
Yeah, so that is on its way on a vessel. It will get to LA, I think, end of May, and then realistically it needs to, well, by the time it clears customs and gets to us, we're thinking early June, mid-June, earliest, which meant that we either stayed in the apartment, which we really did not want to do, we really weren't enjoying it there, or we find the place, which we did, but obviously we don't have any furniture. So fortunately for us, my company have covered the cost of rental furniture, and they've used a company called CORT. CORT is apparently a very common company that people use in the US. They have various locations where you literally rent furniture and you can furnish your whole house for an extortionate rate through this company.
Well, I guess you mostly it's corporate, and if not, you'd be using it short term if you do it
short
personally.
term. Yeah, otherwise
The
you
furniture, the service was great. They let you know an hour before. They turn up, they check the flooring, they check everywhere they're going to place furniture to make sure if it is damaged, they let you know, just so you don't say they damaged it. They put rugs down, they come in, they unpack everything, set everything up, and then say thanks and bye. Make sure you're happy. It's really, really, really good. So I can see why you'd use it, just not for my money.
Convenience for when you're getting to a location, and they had things like your towels, bathroom stuff.
You had to put
kitchen
soap,
stuff,
bars,
all the
coffee maker.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
Lots of little stuff that you probably wouldn't think about, and then you go to make a coffee and like, oh, I don't actually have a machine. So it's nice that they put that all in there. However, I would prefer to have all of my stuff. The one thing that we did get that I really liked was we air shipped our coffee machine, so we got a proper bean to cup coffee machine. Now America, or the US rather, really like filter coffee. It's the common type. As the UK, I would say granulated coffee is probably the most common in people's households. Granulated, like Nescafe and all of that. Here it's filter coffee, and it's fine. It gives you that caffeine boost and it tastes strong, but it's nowhere near as good as a bean to cup coffee. So we're enjoying that. We had two this morning.
Yeah, because we've been dosing up high on the super strong filtered coffee. So the normal coffee that we're used to didn't seem as strong.
Yeah. So that's one nice thing that we've got. Otherwise, all of our stuff is wherever it is. I can't wait to get my bike. I keep saying it, but we are. There's a mountain there. You probably see the ones in the background with no mountain bikes. It's the only time we've lived near the mountains.
He can see every day other people out on his bike.
My neighbour's got a really nice pivot, full suspension, and I'll be out there soon enough though. Well, not soon enough. I'll be out there at some point.
I don't know, a couple of months' time.
Yeah.
Give or take. So Tuesday, that was the rental furniture came, and in theory we could have moved in any day from that point, but because I was working every day, it just wasn't really convenient for us to do the move. So we sorted some other bits. So another key thing that happened on, I think it was the Wednesday. So Wednesday afternoon, I did go over to the house, and I'd ordered lots of things to clean the house, but just to do a normal clean. And then when I started cleaning the fridge, and this house, it never looked dirty, but I also knew it wasn't like super clean. We were well aware of that. But when I started cleaning the fridge, I started seeing all these bits of food, and as if somebody had cleared the fridge and done a quick wipe down, and then we pulled out the drawers, and then it was
I'll
just
put
loaded.
a picture in because I've got one, and we accept that it's a rental property and somebody's moved out, and you're going to have stuff, which is why we're prepared to clean.
Yeah.
And I'm sure everybody does do that regardless of how well it's cleaned, but the food was still there, rotting and stuck to things and jam.
It took they're big fridges, and then I couldn't even bear the idea.
We spent well over an hour cleaning.
Both of us.
And then Celine was just like, absolutely not. Contacted the agent, who actually dealt with it really well. So we sent over the photos. They contacted a cleaning company.
Yeah, so they got back to us the next day, because at that point I was balancing the idea of me having to clean it myself or us pay, because it's too much. It took hours just to clean that, let alone do the whole thing. And then the more I looked into the cupboards, the corners, there were bits of rice left, like strawberry jam pasted onto the cupboard. It was pretty grim and gross, to be honest, at that point. And then I complained, and then the next day they called and said, look, we've organised for a cleaner. So he then came on the Thursday whilst you were there to do an estimate of the house. Yeah,
and he was really good though. So he had a look around, contacted our agent, explained. They immediately wanted to knock him down on price. They said, oh, but it's been cleaned. He's like, well, I'll send you the pictures. So I gave him mine. He took some. He showed them the cooker hood, which was thick, full of grease. He showed them grease around the sink, and they just went, okay, yeah, sure, go ahead, do the job. So he called up a crew. I had left.
They came that day, didn't
they? They came the same day, and I had left him in the house to do what he needed to do, and returned, and there were all of these voices. In the UK, I'm used to one cleaner.
Yeah, one.
And to come home to 4 or 5 people just hoovering and mopping and wiping, it was
And
it was
it was
interesting.
filthy, because then I think you really notice how dirty the house was, because the light fixtures had gone in.
They spent a lot of time. So after that, I mean, they did do a good job. So I was happy, and I just had to wait for Celine to come and see it.
Yeah, and I would say for any of you that go through that, don't just think that you have to deal with it yourself. The worst outcome is that the agent says, no, it's your problem. But the best thing that could be that they get cleaners back in. So when you go into any of these new homes, do point it out, do tell them, or at least get the cleaning fee waived, because at the end of your contract, there is a fee for
Yeah,
that.
they hold a deposit in case they have to do a deep clean. Now, whoever they held the deposit from before, they really should have spent some of that money doing a clean. They might have checked out, I'm not sure.
Oh, who knows what they've done. But I would also say, take pictures. That's the other thing we've done. We've taken pictures of the property when we moved in, so that we can reference that as the property condition of the property when we moved in.
So I think we've got 30 or so pictures with descriptions, and obviously they're timed and dated, so they can't argue the fact after. It'll only be if we genuinely leave the place in a mess that was different to when we arrived there. So make sure you do that. What was the next thing up on that? Oh, so that was the same day the gym
arrived. So that was a good day.
Have we videoed the gym? I've got some
know.
clips actually, so I'll put some clips in of the gym. I'm sure you'll get a tour of it.
That came a lot quicker, because when we made the order, they said it wouldn't be here for at least a week or 2 weeks, and then they called randomly and said, "Oh, we're really, really busy, but we can do tomorrow."
Yeah, so they turned up, and it is a big piece of kit, and it took the guy two hours. He had it up, ready to go. That and the road was obviously a lot easier, ready to go. So I was fairly excited at this point. In the meantime, though, I don't know where we got to last time with the mortgage rental. So we are in a rental now. We've committed to a year. However, we had started...
Yeah, I think we mentioned that as a backup, we decided to apply for mortgages here. And
so not the first mortgage that we did get approved, but an additional one, because we may have been homeless at the time.
Yeah, and so obviously we worked with a mortgage broker for that. He took our details and got back to us on an original rate.
It was crazy.
Higher than
5.65%.
Yeah,
and he went on to explain that because it's a foreign national and you're not a permanent resident here, that's how much. And I just said, look, that's way too high. We already have 3 mortgages. This is how much we pay. This is what we expect. We understand there's additional risks, but the underwriters need to also understand that we don't pose that risk. Similar to what we went through with the leasing the house, actually. He said, "Oh, thank you for sending that over. Let me work on it and come back with reduce it by 1.5%. It's a different lender, but the same company that have done this for us, and reduce it by 1.5%. So this has opened up an opportunity to potentially buy somewhere and rent it out whilst we're renting.
Yeah, and I think what we discussed is what ideally for us, we will buy somewhere that we intend. And I did say, what's the plan here? Is this just as an investment to rent, in which case it doesn't really matter where too much we buy, or is it somewhere that we intend to live in which case it means that it needs to fit all the requirements that we
very
want.
Specific requirements. So we, after saying that we're reasonably happy with that rate, and I'm not, but it's a rate that gets us through the door, and then we can remortgage, refinance it, remortgage at home, that into a much cheaper one once we're settled and have all of the documentation that they need. It's a difficult one, because I'm looking at thinking we might only just about cover all of our costs renting it out to somebody, but if you think about that long term, that means somebody's paying the mortgage and the taxes and everything else, and then when we're ready to move in, actually we can spend 2, 3, 4 months renovating it to exactly the spec that we like whilst we're still renting, and then move into it, providing we want to stay here.
Yeah, but I would say I'm getting the feeling that we will want to, at least. And if we don't, we just continue renting it out anyway, so there's no loss there. So I'm in my mind now, I'm thinking if that was what we went through to rent a place, I'm kind of worried right now what we will go through in buying.
It's, my feeling's slightly different. I think it's easier to buy. because
He
your
did say
financial
that.
commitment is very different, and the lengths they go through and they're prepared to go through to verify the funding.
Yeah.
So really briefly, we've touched on this before, but you have to show that you have that cash.
Yeah.
There's no option. We want the account number, we want to see the account, they want to see a printout, they want to see multiple statements of that, so you haven't just flashed the money into one account and then put it into another account. So they're pretty secure. They then, to get that mortgage rate reduced by 1.5%, they had to order another international credit report, even though they had our UK credit report. So it's far more watertight than a lease.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the way I think it'll work a little bit easier.
Yeah, and I guess we'll just update you on how that goes. We're at the point now where we've engaged with
A realtor.
and looking at options. He sent us 2 lists. I think we only liked 2 of the homes
Yeah.
so far. Of that. And again, the lists are of pictures. Sometimes you get multiple pictures of a house.
Sometimes it's just one. Sometimes it's a piece of dirt. So it's the same renting or leasing here. It can be quite. You have to accept that's what it is, and you have to look at it, see that it looks terrible, and agree to go and look at it in real life, because it might actually turn out to be decent.
Yeah, and at least now, having gone through what we did with the rental, we still have a better idea. Now I know exactly where I want, basically here anyway.
Yeah.
But in terms of the house, you need to actually physically go and view it to see what it has. Anton let me go to the Korean barbecue again.
Who told them about the Korean barbecue?
I don't know if any of you have watched me on Instagram. One of our first weekends here, we went to this amazing Korean barbecue. We just picked it really randomly, and it was so good. But
It's
it was
exceptional.
But
it's
it was
expensive.
what does it come up to?
And it might not
8.85?
seem expensive to people, because I don't know.
Depends
to
how
me,
much
it's
you
expensive.
spend on your food.
I think without drinks, it's about 85 plus your tip, so $104 I think it comes out to. Then if you're drinking whatever.
But we don't drink. So.
Yeah, we don't drink alcohol, but even normal drinks, they charge you like $4. Now, I begrudge spending that amount of money, and then especially if you like it, because you'll end up going once a week, and then in my head I'm going, well, that's $320 that you've just spent. So I tend to prefer to stick to really tasty and good food that costs you $25 for $12.50 for a meal.
Well, it was exciting for me because he's like, well, we can do that once a month. We can treat ourselves. And yesterday, or was it yesterday or 2 days ago? He said, I said to him, what do you want to eat? Let's go to the Korean barbecue.
2 reasons. So sort of congratulations to ourselves. We'd finally got the home and moving in. We also managed to get a refund on that scammer company that ripped us off for our.
They refunded us our $150.
And they originally said they're refunding by check, which is common, and then they actually contacted saying they said we'll just transfer it back. Imagine, considering we just transferred it to you. And then today we received another $140 that we've been waiting on for 6 weeks from Progressive Insurance. So they were meant to issue a refund.
Although I argued with Ant slightly that I don't know, with the amount of effort he had to take to contact them via the chat and phone calls, I feel we're cost neutral on that one.
yeah, but this is a matter of principle though. I want my money back. It probably did cost us more in time. I could have made more money by investing.
I think that's it. I mean, we
say that's it. It's a lot. It's just a much shorter, because we don't have all of these problems. We've sort of overcome them at this point, and we're on the home straight.
I hope so. So the next thing we'll be tackling is the DMV. So watch out for those videos. And actually, there is a little bit to tell you about the DMV. We've already booked our knowledge test for the DMV. I did that, and actually a tip for you guys, actually, if you're moving and will need a driver's license here, your foreign license will be fine, your international driver's permit will be fine up to a certain point, but you will need to get a US driving license, and the DMV is pretty much backed up, depending. I've heard that's quite well, definitely here in Vegas it is. So what I done was, in the first week that we moved, I booked the knowledge test, even though I didn't know where we were living, but that was 2 months out, so that was in March, and we booked an appointment for mid-May. I just looked this week, and the next appointments aren't until July, so definitely get those booked in. The DMV website to me is super complicated. It was hard for me to understand the order, but we will do a video on that once we get there. they say on their website, contact us if you are a foreign national, as the type of ID that you can get is determined by your visa code. So I emailed them this week to say, we've got an appointment for the knowledge test in May. Your website says to contact you. It doesn't say exactly why. This is the thing but I'm just referencing your website. FYI, these are the visas that we're on. I then got a response saying, thanks, here are the requirements to get a license. That was it. I thought, well, that's really useful.
The same stuff that's available on the website, so why am I messaging you then?
And then a few days later, and literally just today, I got another email saying, no, I was just doing a random check and realised that the person that responded to you the other day gave you the incorrect information. This is all the information you need. And this person explained exactly what we needed to do, and that with our type of visa, we can apply for a proper driving, an ID driving license. So there's
2 types.
And actually 3 types. There's the real ID in the US that you can actually use to travel. So you won't need your passport. You can use that to travel domestically in the US.
It counts as your state ID as well, and your driver's license. And your state ID in Las Vegas is really good and important because it gives you huge discounts at lots of places, including hotels.
Which is why we want it, really.
Yeah, so you save all of the taxes and fees that these hotels charge you, so you can save $42, $45 and then just pay your room rate, which is what I want to do.
But we have to wait until we get that. So that's the real ID. There's also another ID driving license, but I don't think you can travel domestically with that. And then the lowest ranking one is what they call a driver's authorization card, and that, depending on your visa, might be the only type of driver's license that you can get.
Definitely check that out. But you've just reminded me of, and I don't have the energy to go into all of the utility things. I did say I'd tell you about the utilities. So you would imagine that that's just one little mishap with the driving people. You would think that's just one person's mistake. No, that's just how it is here. The competency here seems low, very, in general, and things like getting your utilities are impossibly difficult for somebody that's new to the country. So in general, everything is run off your social security number, and that gives them a financial record and your standing within the community and everything else on there. So normally you would just present that to them and they would be able to run the background check. Now for us, we're new. We do have a social security, but it seems like even though it exists, it doesn't really exist.
It doesn't come up when they search for it all the time.
So what you have to do to get utilities is prove that God exists, which is impossible. So then the other option is you have to prove that you exist. And you do that by giving them a social security number. You then have to give them your passport. And then what else did they request at the time?
Passport, your I-94 form.
I-94 form. And with one of them, we gave them all of this information, and they said that does not count as ID. So they requested all of these other things just to open up the utility accounts. And the reason why to us it's so bizarre is in the UK, you don't even give them your national insurance number. You phone up and say, hi, I'm Bob.
I live at this address now.
Yeah.
Switch on the utilities in my name.
And here, sometimes utilities are hard cut off, so they actually send an engineer out to turn on your gas and check everything.
That's so bizarre.
Yeah, and it's really frustrating. The same thing happened with the internet. So just to get the internet on, they wouldn't authorize us via their online website. I phoned them up. They tell me that they can do it, but I have to present all of this information, and then they jack the prices up, and then I'm saying no. So then I phone up another company and say I can't get that. It's just endless, and it ended up taking 3 or 4 hours a day for 3 or 4 days.
I mean, I know I started my calls at work early in the morning, and then we're still trying to sort the utility, and all I could hear in the next room is all this frustration. One thing I would add, actually, if you are coming here with someone and you're doing the move, it's actually really useful to have someone that has time, because all of that stuff is super time consuming, and I had no awareness getting utilities with that.
I don't. It's hard to understand why it's that difficult, and I don't know if it's speaking to the neighbours. I said it seems like it's a land of punishment in a way, because really you're going to put that many hoops up in blocking people getting their utilities.
I guess you have to prove. I think here they just want to establish: do you really want to be here? This is all the test.
Yeah, maybe
if you can
it
get
is.
through this bit, then okay, you're okay. You can stay.
Yeah, it's really frustrating, really time consuming, and probably a good 9+ hours was spent just switching on gas, water, and electric. And our UK people, I don't know what it's like across the rest of the world, will know that that's it's not even, you don't even consider it. You don't have to schedule part of your day. And most of the time you could do it Eon, you just go online.
Yeah, and I was genuine when Ant was telling me what was going on. We signed the lease on the Friday, ready to move in for the Monday, and we were genuinely worried that we wouldn't have utilities. In time for when we moved, on top of everything. So we would have a house, but maybe no heat, like water, heating, electricity.
Yeah. That's what it's like. But then once you get over those hurdles, then you never have to worry about it.
Apparently it's just the first time, and after that you're good. And it's very much linked to going to the DMV now, because now we have the house with utilities set up for the DMV. You will need to prove your residency, and they're a lot more stricter than other places. And this is what's worrying, they're more strict. So I am a bit concerned about what that process is going to be like. But that's kind of the order in which you need to do it.
Do we have anything else?
No, I think that's a bit of a shorter update. We're planning on doing it each week anyway.
And what about the other vlogs?
I think we've mentioned it on a couple of the others that we'll be releasing soon. We are planning to have a schedule, but we're not firm yet because we haven't done it consistently.
Yeah.
But the aim is to get at least 2 out on the Tuesday and Thursday.
Friday.
Oh, Tuesday and
Keeps
Friday.
changing every day. It was Monday and Friday, now Tuesday and Thursday.
Okay, Tuesday and Friday.
This is why we can't commit, because we can't even work out what day of the week.
But that's the plan. We'll carry on with the weekly updates until maybe there isn't an update, who knows, for now. And yeah, we're really excited. I'm feeling a lot better now, actually, about the whole kind of content, because I feel it's less business-like, which I personally prefer. My work is very orientated towards, well, I work for, everything I do is very business-orientated, Monday to Friday. So it's nice to do this, which is more about just the life we lead, and sunshine, working out, eating lots of food, and just having a nice time.
She says this, but people request day-to-day vlogs, and we sit there off camera having conversations like, no, I don't do that, I don't watch those, I don't like it, I don't like this, don't like that, and then she says, I prefer this. So it makes no sense.
I haven't done the day-to-day vlogs yet, though.
Exactly, you don't. Exactly, and there's people going, can we just get day-to-day vlogs, please?
Well, I will try. I will at least try an attempt to do that myself as well, and contribute in that way.
So, I know we've said it earlier.
But please do keep subscribing.
And tell us which one you subscribe for.
Yeah,
actually.
we've got a competition going on as to who's subscribing when who asks for it. So please do so.
Oh, and I need some comments on my sunglasses as well, because people were
He's jealous.
messaging her saying how good her sunglasses were, which I chose while we were in an airport, Heathrow or Gatwick, and I picked them out. And then I bought some sunglasses but destroyed them because they don't take care of them.
He loses things easily, which is why he shouldn't buy expensive things, really.
Yeah, I don't buy expensive things though.
Right, well, thanks for watching again, and look out for our other videos.